Hi guys, welcome to my journal. I was gonna do an update earlier, um, but it turns out I was admitted to the hospital for like 4 days, and things have been nuts. Like when it rains, it pours, and I will tell you what happened. But did I get a resolution? Yes. And do I have ongoing treatment? Yes, I'll let you guys know about that. Now this video is gonna be a two-parter because after a couple of tests, it's a 20-minute video. I'm gonna split it into two 10-minute videos. Because 20 minutes is long. Like for me, 15 minutes is long. 20 minutes is long. Like 20 minutes is good as if it's really interesting, but to me, this isn't interesting. At least not to me. So, anyway, let me start. So Friday, I went to the ER because I believe in my previous video I said I was going to go to the ER if I had no resolution, and I didn't. So I went to the ER. I was admitted to the ER. And they took a blood test, or they took blood, they took a urine sample. They said, well, we're going to do a CT scan on your stomach to see what's going on with you, right? After my CT scan, they put me on saline and potassium because obviously malnutrition, dehydrated, all of that stuff. And they come back with the CT scan results and they're like, we're going to need to send you over to emergency surgery at Grant Hospital because your CT scan shows that your appendix is ruptured. I'm like, I was like, what? Like, that makes no sense. I have not had any pain like that. Because I have like the all over abdominal pain, and then I would have like stabbing pains in my appendix and in my, like at each end of my colon, I would have stabbing pains. But nothing that would make me double over and just cry. So I was like, well, that's odd. I was like, well, okay. I said, so how do should I call my husband? And they're like, no, no, no. We're going to send you by ambulance. I'm like, okay. So ambulance comes and picks me up about 7:30 at night, and they take me over to Grant. Um, While I'm there, they take more blood. They um, did another urine test, and they were looking at my CAT scan. And I actually talked to several doctors, and they're like, well, after we looked at your CAT scan, your symptoms, your blood test, it doesn't appear that you actually have a ruptured appendix. They said you could have inflammation, but if you ruptured your appendix, you would be in very extreme pain. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, so we're going to go ahead and admit you to the hospital. We're going to put you up in GI ward so that they can do more tests. Okay? So they moved me to my room in the GI ward like 4 in the morning. I hate when they do that. It's like I was so exhausted Saturday, so freaking exhausted. But like the great thing about being in the hospital, you can sleep whenever you want. Sort of, because they're always coming in. Oh, I need blood. Here's your meds. They need this, they need that. But for the most part, yeah, you could pretty much sleep. And I had peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. Yes. Um, so first thing they did is they're like, okay, we're gonna do an MRI now on your whole abdominal, on your whole abdomen to see what's going on. They did that. They started me on saline. I don't know if I said in the ER they put me on potassium. Oh yeah, I said that. And basically barrage 24/7 saline, um, medications like crazy. uh, I had medications being put in an IV. I had 3 IVs going. I had one IV here. This was for my saline. I had another IV here. This was for medication. I have another IV here. This was for um, At one point, I had an active IV here, an active IV here, and they had an IV thingy here, so they could take blood and give me medication. And then on this hand, there's a couple places right here and right here where they took blood from. So I was all hooked up. I had a breathing tube because my breathing was shallow. They did the full abdominal MRI. And because I had pain, more pain where my liver was, they're like, okay, we're going to do another MRI, but we're going to focus on your liver function. So they did that. And they said, okay, it looks like might have some inflammation in the appendix end of your large intestine. It looks like you have some kind of polyps or something in your small intestine. And it seems like you have something going on with your liver. So we're going to do more tests on that. So, of course, they took blood like 500 million times from me to try to figure out what was going on with me. And so after the second MRI, they were like, okay, we're going to go ahead because of what we found in your lower abdominal area. Sorry. We're going to do a colonoscopy on Monday. Now, for those of you who have had a colonoscopy, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have you drink this weird, like it was like a 16 ounce, like this much of this weird, it smelled good. It smelled like orange, but it tasted horrible. And you have to drink that whole thing, and then you have to drink like 32 ounces of water to basically Drano your whole digestive system. And it was horrible. And so when I went in for the colonoscopy, they knock you out completely. It's like general anesthesia. They did that, and they verified some inflammation. They were like, okay, now we're gonna do an endoscopy on Tuesday, the next day. And they said, okay, an endoscopy is they knock you out completely. So I was under general anesthesia twice in 2 days. They put a camera in your mouth and down your esophagus into your stomach. So I was awake, and when I heard them talking about my endoscopy results, and I heard the word varices. Now, varices are enlarged varicose veins that grow inside your esophagus, and that's caused by cirrhosis of the liver, which didn't surprise me. Because I believe in one of my previous videos, I said there was a 20-year span where I had drank very heavily. I had used alcohol to self-medicate. And so not only did I have the cirrhosis, but it caused these enlarged veins to grow within my esophagus. So I was like, they were like, well, at this point, it's, obviously the issues that you have, they're not curable. You can't cure it. They said, but you got to take really special care of your liver because your liver does regenerate, but you got to be really careful. Make sure no more alcohol, no ibuprofen, nothing that's going to irritate your liver, nothing that's going to, nitpick at your liver because you want it to heal. Your body heals itself. You got to give it time and you got to give it care, just like growing a plant. So we're going to go ahead and discharge you. You're going to be called by GI for an appointment, hepatology for an appointment. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So they went ahead and discharged me on Tuesday. Now, I went to the ER on Friday for a specific reason. Because my husband had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I figured if I went in on Friday, and I had to get admitted, maybe I could be out by Sunday night and he could go back to work. No such luck, because I was in the hospital Monday and Tuesday, so he had to take Monday and Tuesday off. Turns out he has to take out take this whole week off unpaid because I was in the hospital. Um, so it's 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here and resume it on part 2.